start talking a little bit more about the social media training and what the training will be about. And so what Bridget and I have decided to do is a social media training. There'll be 3 different sessions, and the sessions will range from basically an intro session, which will be Monday, May 23rd. And then it will go into a more advanced session, which will be Tuesday morning. And then finally, it'll be more of an expert session on Tuesday, May 24th. So that's just the basics of our social media training. And Bridget and I have made some decisions about the training. Bridget, do you want to talk about those a little bit, or should I start talking about them? What do you think?
Sure. So I have a question, Layla. Do you think it's going to be online?
Bridget, that is an excellent question. And after we've discussed some, and we've had so many inquiries actually from people asking if the session would be online, we have decided to put our social media training sessions online. And this way it gives more people the opportunity to attend the sessions. And on top of it, the good thing is that once the sessions are recorded, you'll have the ability to play back the recordings.
Great.
So Bridget, I'm going to ask you a question now. So do you think the sessions will people actually be able to see the sessions after the recording if they're not online, if they don't do the online sessions?
Yep, so everything will be recorded, so they'll be able to come in live if they're able to, but also view all the sessions afterwards in case there's a time constraint or if something happens where they can't make it, they'll still be able to see all the content and get the same training.
Excellent. Thank you. That's so great. I'm so happy that, we're deciding to do this, and hopefully there'll be more people on the sessions, and it'll be a lot more interactive, which will be really cool. And unfortunately I feel bad, but we were supposed to have this on Friday. I was called into a meeting that I could not get out of. So we decided that we had to continue on with the blab for today on the questions and answers. So, Bridget, what do you think the intro session? Who do you think the intro session is for? What type of people?
So the intro session could really be for anyone, but it's mainly going to be for people who don't know too much about social media marketing, but want to get a good basic understanding, or a good base understanding is what I meant to say, a base knowledge, so they can move on forward and get that advanced level of social media and be comfortable with being on social media, knowing when they should be posting, what they should be posting, and who they're actually reaching, and how they should be reaching each person.
Excellent. That's interesting. I think that's a great thought. And we were talking, I don't know if I mentioned this to you last week, I was talking to somebody, and they were saying, we're talking about the sessions and which sessions should they attend. And I said, the basic one might be too basic. And he was like, well, I feel like I'm always trying to do more advanced social media. So I never really understood the basics of social media and the foundations, which he had mentioned that it'd probably be really important for him to attend the basic social media training. So as you had said, which I think is so true, it's great for everyone, just for a refresher, and to kind of, make sure that you have that baseline before you do start doing more of the advanced tactics. So I definitely agree. I think that's really important. So what about the other 2 sessions? Do you want to maybe talk about the advanced, and I talk about the intermediate, the social media optimization one, however you want to do it?
Sure. So why don't you go over the optimization?
Okay, excellent. So optimization will be more of creating a social media strategy for your organization, and it will teach you how to really create a social media strategy. So when you leave that specific session, you'll walk out with a social media strategy to implement in your business that day. And so the idea is you'll look through all of the competition, the influencers, you'll find your target audience. And although I would typically say that you should research for about 3 months for any type of social media strategy, it gives you a baseline for starting the process. And so you'll still have the strategy, although I would definitely encourage anyone that comes to that session to make sure that they're continuously researching for the next 3 months and then really diving in. And so the social media optimization session is really more so for people that are really trying to start implementing a social media strategy.
Good. I like that you mentioned that you have to continuously be researching, and it's even after those 3 months too, to make sure you keep up with everything that's changing as well.
Yeah, no, it's so true. It's so true. So how about this advanced social media session? What is that all about?
So for the advanced one, we're really taking all the skills from the 2 previous sessions and really showing you how to manage your social media for a long-term basis. So you're going to get the skills, learn all these different new platforms like Blab or other platforms similar to Blab or anything new that's coming, but really how to manage your social media and to know really at a strong point what's going on social media, how you can always be continuously updating your strategy, and how you can really be a strong influencer in your field.
Excellent. And so, I think one thing that we should definitely discuss is who this is really suitable for, because I think, it's difficult for us to say, this is going to satisfy everybody's needs. And personally, I don't think we'll be able to accomplish that, especially in 4 hours per session. So I think it's good to note that this is really focused more so on small and medium-sized businesses. If you bigger companies, corporate companies, it would be good for, but I can't say that it's more targeted towards the SMEs and also nonprofits. And the nonprofits, I think, are really the market that will get the most use out of these trainings, because the way that and I know Bridget's the same way, all of our clients are typically nonprofits and SMEs, and it's really for organizations that don't have a lot of manpower. And so that's what we try to do, is help those without manpower to leverage everything that they have, all the resources they have, without taking too much time elsewhere and taking too much time from other parts of the employee's day, pretty much.
Great. So just like you said, the difference between marketing for an SME and a big corporate enterprise is so different. So we really do want to focus on how any business really can optimize their social media, can get onto social media and to manage that social media without straining their employees or taking too much time away from other work that is also vital for their success.
Excellent. It's so interesting because, we teach pretty consistently. And, I was thinking today, I've been teaching social media for about 6 years now. We've been working in the field for about 7 years. And then just using social media since whenever Friendster came out and Facebook came out. But it's very difficult to really have social media is so broad, and people don't understand that. They think, oh, it's just Facebook. Well, there's so much more to it than just Facebook. I mean, even deciding, why are we using Blab as a tool versus Periscope or Meerkat, or just doing like a Google Hangout on air, or doing a YouTube, and really the reason we've decided to use Blab is because this is the functionality of the tool that really works for us. But then even, there's so much more to it, and it's just very, there's so many different reasons and rationales as to why you use the channels you use. So it's kind of interesting, and we can't do it all, right?
Definitely. And looking, further than just the most popular ones as well, looking at where your target audience is currently on different ones, besides just Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, but really getting onto all the platforms that your audience is on, so you can, have that consistent brand and connect with your audience throughout multiple platforms. But they're all different, and you always have to strategize each of them differently instead of having one strategy for all platforms.
I think it's a great point is, people think that they can I don't want to say be consistent, but do the same thing across channels. And you can't do the same exact, have the same exact strategies, use the same tactics across channels. It needs to be diverse. I definitely think that's a great point that you brought up. So I'm going to ask you this, Bridget. What do you think the value is? Like, why, if someone's going to come to these trainings, why do you think they should? What would you say?
Well, I would say that everyone's on social media, at least one type of social media at this point. You even see your grandparents coming onto social media. Whichever target market you have, they're on at least one platform. And to really know what's going on social media, you have to understand how to analyze it, how to create a strategy, how to understand how each of them works, and how to best reach each of your audiences. Because if you're not on the platforms that your audience is on, then you're missing out on those conversations. You're missing out on that knowledge and that connection, that relationship with your customer.
Yeah, definitely. Do you see on the right screen to the chat? What is going on?
Oh, I don't know.
That's interesting. No, I think that's a great point. So just knowing, where your target audience is, who your target audience is, et cetera. I think that's super important. But I think, the value of this is too, when you come out of these trainings, first of all, for those of you that don't know much about social, you've just used Facebook for the past few years. I think, thank you, Bridget. I think a couple of things that you'll come out of using social media is really understanding how to use social media, how to use it properly. And then when you come out after the social media optimization, you'll actually have a social media strategy in hand. And then for the last session, it's really focusing more on the advocacy and how to incorporate advocates into your brand, how to really leverage them, how to get your employees on board. And so all of these are really cost-cutting strategies that we're going to provide to you. So you're not going to necessarily, although it's the resources up front, afterwards it's going to help you and decrease your or to reduce, I don't want to say reduce your marketing budget, but help you moving forward with your marketing using social. And as we always say, it's so much cheaper to keep a customer than it is to buy a new customer. And once you have a solid social media community and have a really solid social media understanding, that's going to help you tremendously compared to trying to consistently, put in newspaper ads or put in different types of advertisements on the internet, digital market, digital paid ads, etc. This way, it's more, it's going to be a snowball effect for you. And so the more advocates you have, the more resourceful it is for your brand. So at the end of the day, this is really going to be great for cost cutting. So then you can, focus your attention elsewhere, and also cost cutting in the sense of trying to figure out what research and development you can do, what you can do to better your brand, what are other products and services you can offer, but also learn about the target audience and what they want versus what they don't want. Maybe you'll realize that there is a product or service you're offering that nobody really cares for, or people are using a different way than you ever thought. So, we're going to help you definitely cut some costs for the future.
And that's a great point. I think you and I probably both get the same question about ROI, return on your investment. How can I always get that return on my investment? And social media can be a little bit hard to get that return or to analyze that return. So you really have to look at beyond just the money value, the current money that's coming in, but creating those relationships. Like you said, it's 5 times more to get a new customer than to keep a current customer that you have. So you have to really create those relationships, create those brand advocates, because that way you're able to actually communicate with your customers, know about R&D, know what they want, and to really help them in any part of your business.
Definitely. I think those are some really great points, that return on conversation. A lot of organizations really miss that, and they constantly push content out, and they don't realize that the engagement is really necessary. Please feel free to join. We'd love to hear any questions you have or any thoughts you have. Please feel free to join. Is it Johnny? Yeah, come on in. So, anyways, we're just, there's going to be so much going on, and it's also a great networking event. We are keeping our seats really limited because we want to make sure that we're focusing our attention on the people in the room. If you're, flying in, or if you're coming to the sessions, we want to make sure that you are definitely, we're catering to you, really. And so we're keeping our seats pretty low, probably a lot lower than you would ever expect. And we're also keeping the online version pretty low, especially because we had first decided that we weren't going to do online because we wanted to make sure that we can provide individualized attention. But now that we've had so many, requests to move the training online, we're going to, again, open it up. But again, reduce the cost because it's a reduced cost, but reduce the number of seats just to make sure that we do provide individualized attention for the training. Although there will be two of us, it's still going to be important that we're able to answer all your questions and give you the type of coaching, as I like to call it, more so than just like speaking at you more so than anything else.
Great, Layla. So you mentioned that there is an in-person session or in-person way to take these sessions. Where is it going to take place?
Oh, that's a great question, Bridget. It's actually going to take place in Geneva, Illinois. Geneva, Illinois is in the Chicagoland area. It's about 40 miles west of Chicago. And so if you're flying in, you should fly into either O'Hare or Midway. And actually, I'll put up the social media training link. But we provided some, places to stay if you're in need of places to stay. But it's right outside of Chicago, and it's not far. But you'll probably need to, grab a car or take the commuter rail or something just to get out. Just definitely to get out here. But yeah, it's actually one of my favorite cities or towns. It's super cute. Lots of great restaurants. It's lots of really mom and pop shops, more so than corporate, which is always my favorite. I love corporate. I love big, big organizations as well, but it's for like restaurants and stuff. I like the more, not the franchises. That's a great question though. And so the trainings also will be that Monday afternoon and Tuesday. There will be the 3 different trainings, 4 hours each. We'll probably do some networking events. I'm hoping for Monday night to do a networking event. So anyone that's going to any of the trainings is more than welcome to join. And then if you're going to both of the sessions on Tuesday, we'll definitely provide lunch for you. And this way it gives you the opportunity again to mingle with others. And I'm sorry for the online people that you won't have those in-person opportunities, but if you come in person, we'd love to have you.
And you'll still be able to communicate with each other through social media, right? Mm-hmm. So you'll still be able to get these contacts and network. It will just be virtually.
Yes, thank you. Definitely. Excellent. So, Bridget, are there any other questions that you can think of that we didn't answer?
I can't off the top of my head, but if anyone has any questions moving forward, they can always tweet either of us or both of us too, and we'll answer anything, any questions that you may have. Do you have any other questions, Layla?
No, I think that's it. I think we just wanted to, give people more of an understanding of what the trainings are about, tell people about our new online sessions because that's pretty new. It's from Friday. And just, let you know that it's going to be a really small, deliberate and really small session because that's really what we want to focus on. We want to make sure it's beneficial for everybody. And so the best way to do so is if we keep the session small, and especially because this is our first time doing this type of training. I think the best thing is to keep it small, and then and you'll have like the links, which I think is super beneficial now since we're going to do them online.
Definitely. Great.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Bridget, and thanks everyone for watching. And again, as Bridget mentioned, if you have questions, always feel free to tweet us. I'm at Really Layla.
And I'm at Marketing with Me.
And we'll hopefully see you in a few weeks.
Bye.
Oh, one last thing. You have until Friday the 13th to receive the $100 off all of the sessions, or one session or two, whatever you've decided. So I just want to throw that out there as well, because Friday is the deadline for all of those, the $100 off discount. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.